Today's webinar is on the topic The Art of Publishing in Scopus, Index and Web of Science journals, which is a very relevant one and a much needed one. And we are very fortunate to have the most sought after resource person in this area, Dr. Nimita Abubekar. She is Assistant Professor in Information Systems, School of Management Studies, Cochin University of Science and Technology, a graduate in Computer Science and Engineering, MBA holder, PhD in Organizational Psychology, and she has secured several national level research fellowships and best paper award from prominent institute like the Indian Institute of Management and the Indian Academy of Management. She is a regular reviewer of reputed journals in India and abroad, and also a member of editorial reviewer board of the journal Global Hospitality Tourism, published by the University of South Florida. Also a recipient of Emerald Literary Award as an outstanding reviewer 2021, nominated by the Emerald Publications. Ma'am, it's our privilege to have you here as our resource person today, and on behalf of the Research Forum, PG Department of Commerce and Government Arts College, I extend my heartfelt welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. And our Honorable Principal, Dr. Sheila, ma'am, she has raised the benchmark for hard work and dedication for all the scholars and teachers in this institute. I cordially and respectfully welcome you, ma'am, to this webinar. Head of the department, Dr. Rabida, ma'am, whose guidance and support has been very instrumental in making this webinar happen. Welcome you, ma'am. The research coordinator of this department, Dr. Purushothaman sir, is a very highly motivated person and inspiring all the research scholars in all their endeavors. Welcome, sir, to this webinar. I welcome all the research guides present here, the scholars, faculty members, and all other participants to an enlightening session of this webinar series. Thank you all and welcome you all once more. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we are moving on to the important part of the webinar. Before that, there is a general reminder that if there is any questions or queries during the session, post them in the chat box and you will be answered in the question answer session. Also, a feedback link will be provided in the chat box at the end of the session. The link will be active for 20 minutes after the session. Without any further delay, let's hand over the session to our resource person, Dr. Nimita Abubekar, Assistant Professor, School of Management Studies, Cochin University of Science and Technology. I am deeply convinced that the academic session you are going to witness will enrich your knowledge and vision forever. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you, ma'am, so much. Good evening to all dear participants, all dear teachers, and other research scholars who are, who are looking forward to have a meaningful time together. Before moving on to the formal session, let me please express my sincere thankfulness to Dr. Lakshmi Prasannan, ma'am, to Assistant Professor and Research Supervisor who has organized this program, Lakshmi Jain, Vishnu sir, and Reba ma'am who has taken all the efforts to organize this program. Thank you for inviting me. It's indeed a great honor. Before we move on to the session, let me stay very clearly state the fact that I myself I am a learner. I do keep learning every time, every moment. So what the next 1 hour we are trying to spend here, I'll try to share with me the journey that I have come through over the last 5 years as a researcher, as a scholar. So the agenda for the session would be, in fact, let me please move on to the slideshow. Lakshmi ma'am, is the screen visible, the agenda for the session?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, if it is not moving.
Ma'am, it's visible, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, in fact, we do have one full day or 2 day session on this program. But over this 1 hour, what I will try to do is I will give you some hints of what are those areas that we should have a look at as a researcher who is trying to publish with good journals. So, we'll before we move on to the more ultimate end of publishing, we'll see what the research process is, how the whole journey is, and how do we choose the right journal, because that is really very important. all of us, I'm pretty sure that every one of us do very good research. But the problem is either we don't have the confidence to send it across to a great journal, or otherwise, we are misled that we give our hard-earned work, our flesh and blood to a predatory journal. So how do I know which is a good journal? How do I know which is a bad journal? Because today we are a research scholar. Tomorrow we will be an assistant professor. Next, no, after a couple of years we'll be associate professor. We will be professor, senior professor, pro vice chancellor, vice chancellor. We never know. So always trust yourself. Don't give your hard work to any predatory journals, because when we do that, what we are doing is a research paper doesn't comes out of the blue. No, it is an outcome of 1 or 2 years of hard work. But when we give that work to no 1,500, 2,000, or even 10,000 rupees paid journals, what happens is we are risking our hard work, for a long time. Please never do that. So I will take you the process of how to scientifically check for predatory journals and make sure that we give our hard work to a good reputed journal. Now, also we'll see how to prepare. We'll have a very quick summary of how to prepare our paper for submission, and we'll see what happens after we submit, how the process goes through while the review process, what happens once when the paper is accepted, and what happens, what should happen once the paper is published. So since of course, we are all academicians and we are involved in an academic journey of research, as we all rightly know, research is a search for knowledge. It is both a science and art. So without this definition, the term research would not be complete. It is both a science and it is also an art. The science part of it is the methodological part of it. So everybody, has to follow the methodology, so that the study we do can be replicated by others. The study we do cannot be falsified by others. The study we do is authentic and can be extrapolated. So it has to be a science. But all of us, all 132 of us are following the same methodology. Suppose we have a common topic, and identify the purchase intention, online purchase intention. So all of us are following the same methodology. But are we all coming up with a common output? Never. And that is the artistic part of it, the humane part of it. We do have our own intuitions, we do have our own perspectives, and that makes research as beautiful as we see all around us. So moving on, please always keep in mind that, of course, all of us are very familiar with this because we are teachers, because we are scholars, but always keep in mind that research is a science and art, and that part, science and art, has to be reflected on the publishing phase also. Always we tend to think that, yeah, once the analysis is done, once the discussion and implication is done, no, the research is over. Wow, thank God. No, never. So let us see, why do we have to publish? Why do we have to publish is one question. Another question is, why do we indeed publish? I would love to hear from you. If you could post in the chat window, just reflect upon yourself. Why am I trying to publish? Why have I published? Why am I still looking forward to publish? It would be great if you put the chat window. If you don't want to put also, that's very much fine. But before we move on to the session, it is really very important that we reflect upon ourselves and authentically get convinced, why do I want to publish? All of us publish for different reasons. To get a degree, we need to have at least two minimum UGC scale listed journals. Once we have done the PhD and have got a job, probably we need to do research to get funding, minor project, major project, consulting works, or probably we need to career advancement scheme. So we need to we need to publish because we need to climb up the career ladder. And we all of us are, all 100 of us, all 200 of us have 2,000 reasons to publish. But always remember that the reason why we want to publish, if it doesn't align with the reason why editors want to publish our paper, if there's no alignment, if there's no fit between our reason and their reasons, we are never going to get our work published. So why should we publish? primarily to get validated through peer review process. Because when I submit a paper, it is reviewed. When I submit my paper to a good journal, we'll see what good is. It's very subjective in nature. Yes, I know that. But once we submit our from this session onwards, when you talk of a journal, the only thing that should set of journals that should come to your mind is Scopus, Web of Science, and ABDC listed journals, nothing less than that. Okay, so whatever journal we are mentioning it is refers to the international top tier journals. So when you submit to that our work to such a journal, when great what reviewers in that domain does the peer review for us, our work is getting validated, and we are disseminating our research findings, and we are making a contribution to the study, thereby influencing policy and practice. Always, ever, yes, of course, research gap is important, statement of problem is important, methodology is important, design is important, sampling is important, analysis is important, but research is incomplete without publication of the same. So, what is the journey? All of you are very much familiar with, but I want to take you all through the journey once again, because we'll focus on some particular phases, and that's what the difference between a predatory journal and a good journal is. So it all starts with writing the paper, submitting it. It goes the review process. They do give suggestions. We do the revisions, and we submit back. Probably after 2 reviews or 3 reviews or even 5 reviews, our paper get accepted. Once the paper get accepted, we do the proof. We'll see screenshots of that. I'll take you through my humble journey of post acceptance, the proofreading part of it, how to address to reviewer comments, and finally it appears online first and then to the print publication. So that's a humble journey of publishing, which takes probably 1 year to 1.5 years. So let us have a marathon through the research process. So basically, I see this is, I'm not taking a class. I'm learning, or never consider that I'm here to make a sermon or lecture. This is how I have learned it myself. I'm still in the process of learning. I conceptualize the process of publishing into 2 stages. First thing is, what should I write? We will see how to write, what to plan, what are those things that I should take care. When I come up with a research idea or a research concept, what are those things that I should take care of? So now that I have a paper with me, the stage 1 is over. The next stage, which is really very important, I would say the second stage is more tough than doing a research work over 1 or 2 years. Stage 2 includes proofreading, finding out an outlet for our research, addressing review comments. Once the paper is accepted, and once the editor send you the proof, make sure that we have to make sure that we go through it very much thoroughly, because it is going to be there for probably centuries. We never know. Until the database crashes there, it is going to remain there online. So probably writing a paper, even more important than that is, once the paper is accepted, you need to do the proofreading, very important. And we will see why, as a researcher, as a scholar in a particular domain, why accepting or having a paper published is not great thing unless you go through the post-publishing journey also. We need to get citations. We need to have index factor. We need to have Whiten index factor. We need to have citations in Scopus website, because that is how we grow. We don't always remain a research scholar. We don't always remain an assistant professor. We don't always remain an associate professor. We need to grow. So what are those things that I should take care of? To start with, the first stage of it, conceiving a research idea. The first, when scholars come and we have a discussion, we have a discussion on what should I research on. The first thing, I learned it over so much period of time. What I do is, I hope my screen is visible. There's something called, I hope all of you are aware about the different journal databases: Springer, Emerald, Elsevier, Science Direct, EBSCO, Jester, IEEE. These are different data. We have a number of journals, say 100 journals. 50 of them are listed in Emerald, indexed in Emerald. 17 of them are indexed in Springer. 27 of them are indexed in Google Scholar. 29 of them are indexed in. that's the indexing part of it. So there are n number of journals, they are listed in different databases. So we are looking forward to publish with journals that are listed with the database of good publishers. So Emerald is one such publisher. So we are discussing about conceiving the research idea. How do I look out for a research idea? The first thing is it comes out of passion, because I find a research problem interesting, because I read a very pressing issue in the newspaper, because in our class, in our seminar, in our workshop, somebody was mentioning about a very pressing issue which I think has to be addressed in an academic way. That's one way of it. And the tricky way how I myself find a trending topic is, I go to Google, I search for call for papers in Emerald, because of the different publishers, Emerald has the most easiest to understand thing. I hope my Google screen, web result page is visible. And see, call for papers. Here, so Emerald has n number of journals in business and management. They are the database which lists the maximum number of journals in business and management. So this is their call for papers. They are giving out. We can't use the word advertisement. Rather, they are giving us notifications that this particular journal, European Journal of Marketing, is coming up with a special issue, harm to consumers from social media, and the last date of for submission is 20th December 2022. The next one, International Journal of Conflict Management, which is an A journal. They are coming up with a special issue on managing the complexity of contemporary conflicts. So as an HR person, I find that interesting. I click on that. I find that this is their theme, managing the complex. So since they are a journal and they are finding this topic interesting, probably that's a new area of work that I should also be looking at as a budding researcher. So the journal, we'll see how I came to know that this is an A journal. We'll see that introduction, list of topic, the role of emotions in managing conflict, so these are the topics. This paper. Okay, let me take you through the journey of this. What will happen? What happens to my paper if I have made a submission? So this is May 2022. The last date for submission is December 2022. It will take 1 year or 1.5 years to.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
are you showing the PPT or any Google?
Yeah, I'm showing the Google web page, Emerald Publications.
Actually, it is not visible. The PPT is showing here.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you for telling that. Uh,
Yes, now it is off.
okay. Let me please take you through the process once again. I'm really sorry about that. So what we do is we go to Google. We take for call for papers in Emerald. Emerald is the public. Ma'am, is it moving right now? Google?
Yes. Ma'am.
Okay. So we get, this is the Emerald is the most, is the database that lists the maximum number of business and management papers. So we go to call for papers, and here is what we see. See, just now what I was mentioning, European Journal of Marketing, that's a journal. They have a special issue on harm to customers from social media. The last date is 20th December. And European Journal of Innovation Management, managing innovation and digital transformation post-pandemic in food and beverage. Like this, they have n number of pages in n number of domains. See, what are domains? They do have filter, subject. They have special issue in accounting, finance and economics, business management and strategy, education, engineering, health and social care, HR, information, library, marketing, operations, property, public policy, tourism. Again, they have come up with a new filter, Sustainable Development Goals 817. Let us not look. You can have a look at that personally later. So after this session, I would request all of you to please go and Google call for papers Emerald. Have a look at the if probably you are into marketing, click on marketing. Yes, now they will show me only the marketing special issue papers. Say again, another option would be most recent close date. So I would like to know which has the most recent date. So they're listing, they have listed the past special issues also. So in that case, if say fashion supply chain management during and after the COVID-19 global pandemic, in that case, the submission date is over, but still they have not removed it from the website. So in such cases, what I usually do is I email to the editor. See, the guest editor, they always give the contact address of the guest editors. What I usually do is probably they have not got enough good papers, and that is why they have not closed the submission. So in that case, try your luck with emailing the guest editor. Coming back, we were discussing about conceiving the research idea. Identify your passionate domain of inquiry, looking out for trending topics. So yeah, once again, please give me a second. So so we were discussing about one particular special issue. So it closes on December 2022, the end of this year, and it will take them another 1 year to get go through the review process, and it will again take them say 5 or 6 months to publish. So here we are working at a journal, working with a research idea or a research paper, which will probably be published in 2024. And that is why I personally think that call for papers are a great starting point to get off with good research ideas. Okay, I hope it benefits at least few of you. And you read more and more, and for the again you go through the literature review process, and finally come up with a good result. So that is how am I audible? Because my video is not working, so I'm afraid if the net connection is gone.
You're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So that's some issue with the camera. It's okay. So that's how I that the tricky solution I find in finding research ideas. I have a domain. I work usually in HR. So of the different topics in HR, how do based on the subject, I do a general reading and see what are the areas that people are interested in, and after some point of time we should stick on to some particular area and develop more on that, so that we don't have to have the headache of reading more and more and review of literature every time you do a research paper. So that is all. Now coming on to the first question, why do we publish? Before we move on to publish, we should see who is going to be interested in reading my work. Probably the editor. So what I usually do is I have a look at the research area of the editor. Say for instance, this particular editor, who is he? William A. Smith, University of Utah, USA. So what I usually do is I go to Google Scholar, I have a look at what domains he work with, and then I find that exploring he works in the area of student learning, Black women. I request all of you to please mute so that we can have a meaningful session. So that's also one method of understanding who our editor is, because again, we are not dealing with machines. We are dealing with editors who are human beings. So have a look at their work. Will they be interested in my work? Of course, the larger population, the larger academic community has to read my work. But the first thing is the editor has to be interested in reading my work. So do a thorough check off about the editor also. Are we building on? These are very, we'll move fast. Is our methods, another thing is are our findings methodologically sound? Is this a novel or innovative work? These days what happens is no editor in a good journal is interested in cross-sectional survey research design. That's one major challenge that me as a researcher faces, because I'm very accustomed to do cross-sectional survey design. But trust me, beyond a C category journal, no editor wants a cross-sectional survey design. So it is high time we move to mixed methodology, qualitative methodology, and experimental methodology, even in domains like human resource management. So methodology is one important thing when we are trying to publish. So I don't want to go into it's already almost half an hour. Let us not move to the intricacies of writing what are the structure. We'll see that in brief. But this session is focused on identifying good journals. So how do we identify
The first
as researchers should be familiar about is every journal has some matrices. Matrices is quantify. What is a metric? It's a something which is quantified. So how do I quantify? She's a good girl. She's a good researcher. She's a good teacher. So the term good is very subjective. So what do we know? What do we need to do? We need to quantify. We need to have some matrices. So these are very common matrices. One of the most commonly understood metric is indexing. Which database is this journal in the Journal of Educational Management? Which database is it indexed in? So how do I know? So I go to Google. So International Journal of Educational Management. So I go to their web page. So I go to about the journal here. And aim and scope is their editorial team, author guidelines, literature, indexing and rankings. So I find that National Journal of Educational Management is abstracted in A Plus Journal, Australian Education Desk, Cable, etc., 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 etc. And I find that, sorry, it is ranked by Scopus, Emerald, Emerging ESCI, ABDC, B category journal, and this is how I identify. Then tell me Indian Journal of Research. Indian Journal of Research. They say that where is this journal indexed? So again, this is one of the topmost rank one predatory journal. So indexing and abstracting. Citation index, Google Scholar. Please be aware that Google Scholar is not an authentic or say, it is not an index which gets us pride. So here I find that this journal is not listed in Scopus. So what I do is I close the tab. I am not interested in that journal. So like this, we'll see more and more, but just be aware that we need to know where different journals are indexed so that we can make a right decision. Moving on to the core of this session, how do we know where the journal, how if the particular journal is indexed in Web of Science or Scopus? Again, Web of Science is a database which lists the topmost journals, and Scopus is something a bit lower to it, which index another set of journals. So something I want to share with you is that there are some journals which are listed only in Scopus. There are some journals which are listed in only in Web of Science, and there are some journals which are listed in both Web of Science and Scopus. So to start, the safest position that one can take is publish with journals, submit to journals which are listed in both Web of Science and Scopus. Moving on, how do I know a particular journal is listed in Web of Science? I go to Google. Yes, I go to Google, Web of Science. So the website comes up. If you're using it for the first time, you need to create a username and account. So I'll log out for the time being. Okay, so if you Google Web of Science, this is the page that you will have it. Here we have options for search journals, match manuscript, downloads, and help center. Search journals is where International Journal of Education, Global Business Review, say. That's a journal published by India, Global Business Review. Is it listed in Web of Science? Yeah, great. That's listed in Web of Science. It is published by Sage Publication, India. Yeah, that's MDI Gurgaon. So that is listed in Web of Science. Now tell me Indian Journal of Research. It is not listed. Journals relevant to Indian Journal of Research. Indian Journal of Research is not listed. So this is how you basically find if you have a, because the thing is, some fake journals, what they do is in their web page, they claim that we are listed in Web of Science, we are listed in Scopus, but I would personally request all of you to verify it manually. There is no easy way out. We have to verify it manually. International personal review. Yes, that is listed in Web of Science. Can you tell me some other name? Indian Journal of Finance. Indian Journal of Finance. That is also not listed. So this is how we manually check journals one by one. Another easy way is to in the topmost menu, please note that first option is search journal, second option is match manuscript, and the third option is download. So there's an option to download web. I hope you're familiar with Science Citation Index and Emerging Science Citation Index. That is what all of us look forward to. Again, that's another set of indexing. So once you create a username and login, if you go to download, see, you can see Science Citation Index expanded. That's for the science people. Social Science Citation Index, SSCI, that's the topmost journals. And smaller journals, like not smaller journals, again Web of Science and Scopus journals, which are not as great as SSCI index journals, they appear in ESCI, Emerging Social Science Index. So if I click on this, an Excel sheet will download. I hope my screen is visible to all. Excel sheet has been downloaded. And this is Web of Science core collection, last updated. Please see last updated April 19, 2022. So now we have an Excel sheet which listed the title of the journal, ISSN, EISSN, publisher, Web of Science category. So how many rows, how many entries do they have? They have 3,576 journals which are listed in Social Science Citation Index across different categories: business and finance, business and management, educational research. There are n number of categories. Please do have a look at it after downloading. Okay, so again we can do a search. Let me search if this is their global USI business. It is not there. So let me try personal review. Maybe that's a spelling mistake. Personal review.
3, 2
Yeah. Yes. See, personal review is there.
3.
Yes, madam. Could you please mute? Personal review is there in Social Science Citation Index, which is the topmost ranked journals which a social science researcher can look forward for. Again, set of journals there are just below to SSCI, Emerging Sources Citation Index. Emerging Sources Citation Index. If I click on that, again another Excel sheet will download. See why I'm taking you through this process, even if it take times, because I want all of you to please do it manually. Even at least one person, if this is new to at least one person, I want all of you to please do that. Please don't look at these journals from where we stand right now. Yes, right now we stand at level 1 where we are all learning, but we will grow for sure, we will flourish for sure. So please don't give our hard-earned work to random journals. I'm stressing this point again and again because to me nobody mentioned all this, and it doesn't mean that the day I started my research I came up with top category qualified quality journals. Never. Even I also learned through the process of publishing with 1,000 rupees and 2,000 rupees. But now, of course, the first couple of journals were really very shabby with only 3 pages or 4 pages. But I regret giving my structural equation modeling modeled softwares, even with PLS or MOS, to such 1,500 journals. Had I known about all this, had I published with all this, I would have given some, at least I could, those papers would have come in a Scopus journal and would have got me some citations. And that is why I'm sharing this with all of you very openly. Please do have a look at all this. Never ever give your hard work to such journals. So, so SSCI, next lower the level is ESCI. So let me check if global business reviews here. Global business, that's a random journal that came to my mind. You can tell me any journal if you prefer. Global. Yeah. It is here. So global business review is indexed with ESCI. So this is the entire list of journals that are indexed with Web of Science. And Web of Science, again, Web of Science has different subcategories, so SSCI and ESCI, which are relevant. I hope only social science researchers are attending this session. Otherwise, for engineering, they have the Science Citation Index, and arts, again, another for philosophy. They have arts, and you can have a look when you have some free time. So this is mostly about understanding Web of Science. It is just a database that lists different journals, and we all should look forward to submit with journals that are indexed in Web of Science. Okay. So that is about Web of Science. Again, there are n number of ranking systems. We have the Journal Citation Report. Again, here in Web of Science, are you able to see Journal Citation Report 2021? Let me download and see what is in there. So Journal Citation Index. This is a comprehensive report that summarizes whether a particular title appears in ESCA, Science Citation Index, Social Science Citation Index, Arts and Humanities, and ESCA. Probably some journals are indexed in both, and that is that is why they have come up with this list. Okay. This is just for your general information. Just be aware that there are n number of databases where we can personally have a look at where the journals are there. Whether the journals are indexed in Web of Science, no. Okay, so what is happening? Don't see. Coming back, that was about another journal ranking system that I would like to familiarize with a couple of people, at least a couple of people who are out here, which is something new to, probably new to. Again, what we were talking about, Schemago. So we will have copy this. Why am I not able to copy? Okay, we'll type it. So we go to Google. So what I do is journal rank. So they have this authentic website, CMAGO journal and country rank. Here, what they do is, there is something, okay, after this we'll go to ABDC list, Schemago journal and country. We'll stick with the same journals, so it will be more easier to relate with each other. Just give me a moment. Let me see what is wrong with my. Yeah, for some odd reason, I myself stopped the video. Sorry about that. Okay, so Schemago journal country rank list. Let us see what is the ranking of personal review. We're talking about personal review. So another thing I want to share with all of you is when we decide to publish the particular journal, make sure that it is indexed in it has some rank. No matter what the rank is, it has some rank. When we talk of rank, what they usually say is it is divided into 4 quadrants: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. And something very interesting to this Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 is business publishing, not business publishing, I'm very sorry. A business school in Kochi, they pay you an incentive of 4 lakhs rupees if you publish with a Q1 journal. And IIM, it is 12 lakhs. So that's a grading, Q1, quadrant 1, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So as a beginner, no worries, even if it is a Q4, never mind, but try to publish with journals which has at least some ranking or it appears in some quadrant. So personal review, it appears in, let me see towards the end. Yes, it appears in Q2. I hope you are able to see the screen. It appears in Q2. It is a Q2 listed journal. So these are the kind of technical terms that we use when we refer to a journal. It is an ABDC index journal. It is a Scopus listed journal. It is a Web of Science listed journal. It is a Q1 journal. It is a Q2 journal. All I wanted to share with you are some of these facts. Go for journals that has some kind of indexing and ranking. Please never go for any predatory journals. So we'll see how we'll identify predatory journals. Yes, Schemago is one point. Like this, we do a general search for different global business review. So my point is, of the different rankings like this, we don't go for any one single ranking. Rather, have a look at different because we are not publishing for 1 day or 1 year or 1 decade. We're publishing for at least 50 to 60 years, at least for the span of time that we'll be alive. So I want to gonna have a look at my Google Scholar Index and feel good every week. Every Monday morning, I have a look. I have just started this journey, but then again, I know some papers that I have published 3 years back, they give me citations today. So that's how it all comes back as a circle. So make sure that you have a look at different rankings and decide accordingly. So again, this is a Q1, Q2 journal. Conflict management. Okay, we'll not waste more time on this. You can have a look at any journal that is there in your mind and have a look at the ranking of that. So that was one ranking. Yes. See, you can, as you rightly see on the screen, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Top position is obviously Q1. And the next set of indexing I want to familiarize with all of you is again Scopus. How do I know a journal is Scopus listed or not? I go to Google, I search for, just search Scopus and I check for Scopus preview. That would be more easier. Scopus, I go have a look at the Scopus website. Even Scopus is fine. You need to create a username and password. You need to log in. So check out free author profile. You can search for authors. For the benefit of time, let us look forward to free journal rankings and matrices. So some journals, they falsify the information and claim fake data that we are listed in Scopus. So madam, I paid them 10,000 rupees when they told that. I saw in their website that it is Scopus listed. So I paid them 10,000 rupees, 12,000 rupees, got it published. But after 1 month, I came to know that they are fake data, fake journals. So what do I do now? There is nothing to do. But feel bad for yourself. Feel sorry for yourself that you didn't come to know about this information earlier. So there's a Scopus website there where we can have a look at whether a particular title is there in the Scopus website or not. So again, Global Business Review, let me have a look. Global Business Review, yes, it is listed in Scopus. See, it is listed in Scopus. Indian Journal of Research. Let us have a look. Indian Journal of Research. There is no journal in the name Indian Journal of Research that is indexing Scopus. So if somebody fakes information and makes you pay for publishing this journal, never ever do that. And this is how we manage. I have just started the journey, but what I do is I manually verify every journal name by doing this manual mode of confirmation, because it is my hard work and I'm not going to end my career after publishing of this particular paper That's a journey that God willing, it will continue for some more time. So I don't want my work to be wasted. So I take time to find the journal. So I hope my point that finding a research topic, doing the actual research, writing a research paper, and identifying a journal is also as equally tedious, is also as equally or even more important than doing the entire research. Okay. Finally, I would like to share, I wish Web of Science. In Web of Science, there is also another meaningful tool that help you that they help us with. Towards the top menu, can you see search journals, match manuscript. So here, if you enter the title and abstract, they will suggest journals for you. Say for instance, I have a recent paper which I am trying to complete during these days. Workplace spirituality in the context of remote work, employee well-being and performance. And this is the abstract that I have written. And I have copy pasted the abstract here and I asked them to suggest me journals. See, based on the keywords, they have suggested me sustainability, which is a good journal. Frontiers in Psychology, and again another good journal, Sage Open. So this International Journal of Human Resource Management, A-Star Journal, Current Psychology, journal in Springer. Yeah, Springer, yes, it is there. Social Indicators Research is published with Springer. So the European Journal of Work and Occasional Behavior, yeah, that's an A-Star journal with Science Direct. So they are suggesting you journals which are there in Web of Science and that will suit the context of your study. But this doesn't mean that the moment you submit to sustainability, they will accept your work. Go to sustainability, go to their aim and research, sustainability journal. Sustainability is an open access journal. I think they ask you a lot of money. And some scholars have asked me suggestion that sustainability it is indexed there in Web of Science, but there's a huge article processing charge. So should I go with them? I don't know. I never done. No, I have not done any publishing, paying for it, because whatever information I have gained from my teachers and other scholars is that journalists who take article processing charge at some point of time they may be out of the Scopus list. So today they might be there in Scopus, but tomorrow they may not be there. So I prefer not to take the risk. Even if the list they are thrown off out of the list, at least I won't lose my money. So, but it doesn't mean that open access journals are bad. You can go for it if you have the funding. So probably as part of the project, we have a share of the project for publishing. In that case, go for open access. The advantage with open access journals is that they will get you more citations than the paid journals, which are paid journals in terms of than journals which require subscription. For instance, Emerald, Springer, we can't access them sitting at home. We need to go to university because university has subscribed that. So we need to access the journal through their IP, and then only we can, because university has paid lakhs of money and subscribed to the database. So only people who have access to that will cite my paper. That is one disadvantage. It is for all of you to decide for ourselves whether we should go for an open access or other regular mode. Provided you have the money, you don't have the money, you do have the funding, you don't have the funding, and based on different factors, we should decide for ourselves. And there's something called think, check, and submit. Is the journal trustworthy? How to avoid predatory journals? So I want all of you, after the session, all of you should go and have a look at think, check, and submit. Ma'am, when I play the audio, please tell me if the sound is audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Animation videos, audio is not.
Sorry, ma'am.
Animations audio is not, we can't hear.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. I'm not sure how to do that in WebEx. Um,
Ma'am, audio is not audible for us.
okay. Yeah, I'll try once more, and after that we'll maybe we'll not waste time. Please check now. Is it audible?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Maybe we'll not waste our time. We can have a. You can just Google and find. Just a moment. I'm messing up with the share screen. Okay, maybe later you have just Google Think, Check and Submit. They have a beautiful 2-minute video out there, which will help us more then reinforce our concept of how to think, check and submit. And not just UGC scope, no, not just Scopus and Web of Science journals. I hope all of you are familiar with the UGC Care journals also. So to access UGC Care journals, you need to create an account with Savitri Phule University. It's UGC list of journals. So here you can access based on that login to continue. So I don't, this is my, no, my original laptop is there at the university. You can enter your username and password and you'll see something, you'll see something on a web page like this, and you can search for management papers. But my humble suggestion, request is never, not never, try not to publish with UGC Care journals, because they revise the list every now and then, and one fine morning, the list of the journal may not be there in the UGC Care list. So try for a minimum of Scopus listed journals, so that it always there at least for some point of time. So UGC Care journals, they could only be there for hardly a couple of months. So these are some screenshots that you can get from UGC Care list. Yes, so that is all something I wanted to share. And finally, I hope all of you are familiar with ABDC journal list. Just Google ABDC journal list. So ABDC, Australian Business Dean Council. Again, a list. No, they are a list. Australian Business Dean Council, at least in Asia Pacific region. So this list is rated highly in terms of the entire good journals are rated into A star, A, C, A star, A, B, and C. Basically, business and management domain journals are listed here. They revise the list once in every 4 years. See, I hope you can see that 2013, 2016, interim review, 2018. And what we see right now was current to December 6, 2019. So what happened was I had one paper with International Journal of Intelligent Enterprise. It was there in it was a C category journal in 2018. But once the list got revised, it was no more a listed journal. It is just Scopus. So that is why I am suggesting to publish with at least a C category journal, because even if all this I'm telling from my own experience, because this particular journal, it was Scopus, it was a C category journal. So I thought that was a safe option. I submitted, I got a review, I published with them. What happened was in 2019, they got out from the list. But of course, I can't claim the credit because I have the screenshot or the list. But then again, no, what if we go with the UGC Care? Because it will not be, it will be in thin air. So try not to. No, try to publish with 10 percentage increase in effort. We can publish with Scopus. It's not big deal. It is just that we don't have the confidence or we are not aware of. So please be confident, please be aware and have good papers. Every paper is good, just that we don't publish it with good outlets. That is all. Then how to publish? I'm gonna take care of introduction materials, result discussion, conclusion. will not spend time more on that. I just want to take you through the journey of once we submit, take care of references, don't plagiarize. Never do the plagiarism kind of thing. I'm so confident about myself that I never check plagiarism for my submissions because I don't take the risk because I think of I dream big. I don't think of myself as a scholar right now or an assistant professor right now. Probably, God willing, I will grow someday, and I become get a good position in life. And that at that particular point of time, my enemies come up digging all this thing that this lady has published a research paper which is 90% plagiarized. This lady has, okay, we are approaching the time limit. Yes, great. So take care not to publish. So once your review resubmit kind of thing, either it is a desk review or a peer review. Try to avoid desk rejection. What is it? I can share this journal paper with Lakshmi ma'am. How to develop a quality research article and how to avoid the research. So once it is accepted, they give you the proof and we do the proofreading. Okay. And we share it across different channels so that our citations, H-index and I-10 increases. And with that, maybe we'll stop because we are reaching the end of the time. Right, so dream hard, work hard, dream big. Thank you all so much for your time and effort.
Thank you, ma'am, for your fruitful session. Now we are moving to the question answer session, and it will be handled by Aishwarya Sajeev, Research Scholar, Department of Commerce, Government Arts College, Trivandrum. Participants can now raise your queries in the chat box. Audience are requested not to turn on your mic and ask questions.
Am I
Aishwarya?
audible?
Yes, you are audible. I think.
Okay. And there's a question. How do we exactly choose a journal or a list of journals for submitting our paper?
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Video is partially covered.
Hello.
You are audible now.
Is it okay now? Am I audible?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Can you please repeat the question once more? I think there was a network issue, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, ma'am. How do we exactly choose a journal or a list of journals for submitting our paper?
The first thing, not the first thing, the first and the last thing I myself do is I see which kind of journals are interested in my subject. So how do we get that? From my review of literature. So when I do the review of literature, I keep a list of papers, I keep a list of journals, good journals, who publish similar kind of research. So when I send my paper to those journals from where I got the review of literature, that's the most easiest part that I have myself experienced because that particular editor, they are interested in that kind of topics. That is why they have published, right, ma'am? So that is the most easiest technique. From the review of literature, from the references, from the papers that you read, that you review, that you cite in your own paper, try to the first choice should be those particular journals, provided they are there in the Web of Science, they are there in the Scopus or ABDC list. Otherwise, what we can do is we can again go to ABDC list. Again, should I share should I share my screen and show you? Do we have the time for that? No, you can download. You can just download the ABDC list. Okay. And then from that you do the I myself do the manual search and see filter by A star, filter by A, filter by B, filter by C category journals, and we see for ourselves which kind of journals would be interested in this. I look for the aim and scope. Say how do I know global business review? Ma'am, what is your research topic? Can you please tell me? Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Is it mine?
Yeah. Can you please tell me your research topic? Just any keyword.
Ma'am, it's about government initiatives for the promotion of vegetable cultivation.
Vegetable cultivation. So that is your keyword, farming, vegetable farming. Vegetable farming. So I'm new to that. I would like to publish any paper anyway. So I go to Google Scholar, I do the Google search, and I find that from 2006 onwards. So probably the editors have, so this journal, Agriculture and Ecosystem, Agriculture, Ecosystems and Environment. That is one journal that have published a good paper. But I would like to see, recent editors might have changed. So combining food, energy and production design of an agrivoltaic system applied in arable and vegetable farming in Germany. So which is this journal? So this journal is Renewable and Sustainable Energy Reviews. So I copy that, I paste that. So this is this particular journal. I go to their aim and scope. See, and I see if agricultural, this particular falls in this. And this is also one another tricky method, ma'am. Ma'am, did I answer your query?
Yes, ma'am.
First thing
And
is,
there's another question.
first thing is have a look at the review of literature, the papers that we have cited from. That's the most easiest method.
Okay, ma'am. And there's another question. How to write a journal article? What's the process for writing a journal article?
Process for writing a journal article is starting from the introduction section till the conclusion section. Okay, so that is a process of writing a research paper, introduction, materials and methods, result, discussion, conclusion. Again, I would take the easiest way. See, every journal provides you, every paid journal, subscribed journal provides you with a sample copy. Say for instance, personal review. Personal review. So you go to their journal. After this madam has been talking about personal review. So what is personal review about? Let me see if I can publish a journal with that. So write for, in the right side, you can see write for this journal. And they will provide you a sample paper. See, get a sample article. This is free of, this is free to view. Every journal has a sample paper. And here we can see that this editor deems appropriate to be published in this journal. And we start with this. This is the kind of paper that they are expecting. Ma'am, did I answer the question? The most easiest way?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. And there's another question. How would I know my work has been cited by someone?
Yes. Yeah, that's it. That's the most interesting thing. So create an account. I personally know teachers who don't create. I tell them, but they still don't do. Go to Google Scholar. We have the same Gmail, Google ID. You create a profile. And once you create a profile, you add your name. Okay, this is Nia. This is my daughter's. So once you create a profile, there's nothing great in creating a profile. And once you have this, your papers will be automatically added. The algorithm does it for themselves. They come up with the citations. No, the algorithm comes up with the H10 index and I10 index. And, they will say, in the beginning, they will send you emails. One paper has cited your article. So now we get so excited. But I think after 100, they don't send. So till 100 citations, I used to get mails once in a while that two papers, not people, two articles have cited your work like that. And that is how we'll get to know. But another thing is Scopus. Just a moment. Google Scholar Citation Index is different from Scopus Citation Index. Okay. Scopus Citation Index is Babylon's. There is something called Publons where you will get your Scopus citation index. In the sense, journals in Scopus that have cited your work in Scopus. Okay, so maybe I will have 200 citations according to Google Scholar, but I will be having only 50 citation index according to Scopus. Okay, I hope you get my point.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. There's a question asked by Rajendra. How long it will take to publish a category paper?
Yeah, for my A category journal, it took 2 years and 3 months. And with the same journal, another paper, it got published in 7 months. So I would say it is all a matter of luck. That's what I would say.
Okay, ma'am. And there's a question from Sarita. Her research topic is e-waste management. So
E-waste
how
management.
can she, yes, ma'am, e-waste management. So
Okay.
how can she attend seminar on the specific topic? So if you have any idea, please help her.
E-waste
That's what she
management.
asked.
Yeah, e-waste management is very new to me. So what I would do is e-waste management conference 2022. So they will give me waste management conference 2022 United Research Forum. So I see that in August 2022, after 3 months, they have a conference. Then I will have a look at the registration fees. I find that they have $400. So I go back, I do the next search. That is how it works for me, ma'am. That is how I do. So if I want to do something very specifically related to IAM, I do the keyword IAM. If I don't want IAM, in generic, I don't find anything meaningful. So this is how it works, ma'am. We do the thing again and again and again. That is all. Did I answer your
Okay,
question?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And one last question. How to write without plagiarism? How to write an article without a plagiarism? And two, even without checking it.
How to write a paper without plagiarism? Because plagiarism happens when you copy paste. So when you don't copy paste, we are very sure that there is no plagiarism.
Yes, ma'am.
The only thing that can happen is, ma'am, will the link get cut off after any particular point of time? Hello?
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, due to time limit, we are cutting short the Q&A session. So the remaining queries can be forwarded to the mail ID of the resource person, which will be posted in the chat box. And over to Lakshmi.
Thank you, Aishwarya, for handling the session. Now, I invite Gayatri S., Research Scholar, Department of Commerce, Government Arts College, Trivandrum, to deliver the vote of thanks. Gayatri?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, all. It's my privilege to have been asked to deliver the vote of thanks in this session. On behalf of the Research Forum, Government Arts College, Tirunelveli, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our resource person, Dr. Nimida Abubakar, for her precious time and effort to grace this session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge with us. Now, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our principal, Dr. Sheila Kale, for giving us this platform. I would also like to thank Dr. Lakshmi Prasannan, ma'am, Assistant Professor, SN College, Varkala, for delivering the welcome speech and for immense support. I thank all the faculties and research supervisors of our college for their consistent support in this initiative. A lot of work went behind this webinar. I thank all the research scholars for their unwavering support for this program. Last but not the least, this program would not have been possible without those who are present here. So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gayatri.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Once again, thank you everyone for your presence. Our next session will be on 21st May 2022 on the topic Basics of Econometrics. The feedback link will be posted in the chat box. Do check that out. The link will be active for 20 minutes after the session. We will see you next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all so much.